Good morning. Welcome back to training for the Dragon's Back Race 2025. This is episode number 7. Today is an easy effort run for 30 minutes with 6 strides at the end. Decided to go a little bit off-road today onto some of the very local trails. Change of scenery. I mean, I know I've just showed you, but look at that view. How stunning is that? Today's route is up in an area that we call the Western Heights. Why it's called the Western Heights, I can only make an assumption that it's because it's at the top of the hills on the western side of Dover. So much like all of Dover, there are a lot of fortifications around here. In a little bit we'll be running past some of those. Western Heights of Dover has got loads of fortifications built up around here, ranging from super old, like the Napoleonic fortress, which we will be running past, to the slightly more modern World War II era bunkers and lookout shelters and even gun emplacements, because they look straight over the channel. And I'm sure if you know a little bit of history, you know the channel is probably one of the things that stopped us from being conquered. But it did mean it needed a lot of defence. And Dover got given the nickname of Hellfire Corner because of all the dogfights that had happened in the air, all of the bombers that would come over, as well as all of the ships and channel crossings. So we're just running through some of the big gun emplacements. I'll stop and give you a little look around. We've just run past one of these. This is the middle one. There's one more. And these were, I couldn't tell you what the guns were that was used in there, but big old guns designed to either shoot down aircraft which are trying to cross the channel, or protect the shores from boat invasion. As I alluded to a moment ago, we'll be running past the Napoleonic fortress in a little while, including the great big huge ditches or dry moats. They are also referred to as the revetment, which is a huge ditch which circumnavigates the perimeter of the citadel. So that is the fence behind me. I'm not going to be able to see much of. We will be able to see a little bit of it. We're not going to be able to see a huge amount of the citadel, mostly because it's fenced off and the Napoleonic bits are more central to the compound. I'll be able to show you the revetment and a bit of the dry moats. I might be able to show you the officers' mess, which is an amazing looking building, built in the test my memory, built in the 1800s, maybe late 1700s, early 1800s, I think. It's got a big huge date back on it, which we won't be able to see from this angle. But I've seen it a few times, so I should know the date. But we'll be able to run past the back wall of it, for lack of a better way of explaining it, as opposed to seeing the front of it. Don't worry, I'll get a bit of a sneak peek around a few guys. Coming up to the revetment, Let's see what we can see. Great big huge ditches. So my good friend Ryan Castle runs an events company called Hellfire Events, named aptly after Hellfire Corner right here. Not that many people know that's why it's called Hellfire Events. And we've actually got a couple of events coming up soon which will allow people to see inside this complex and to run around the revetment itself. We can see the old water tower, which is right about there. And the building to the left of that is an old prison block. Yeah, that's right. So it's had a lot of uses over its lifespan. It's been made to protect our waters from the Napoleonic French invasions, because there was a big fear that Napoleon might try and come across the channel and abduct us all, which is why it was originally built. It mostly had a military background and use. Not so long ago it was then used as a young offenders institute, which is pretty much a prison for younger people. After that, it was used as an immigration removal centre. Then it laid stagnant or dormant for a while before it got bought out by its current owners, who are now planning on turning it into a great big huge technology hub for entrepreneurs, as well as, I believe, he wants to have a longevity clinic in there as well. But I think the most important part, to me at least, maybe it's not that important for others, but for me, I just love the fact that the building is actually being used for something. There's so many buildings that get neglected nowadays, and I understand why. They're awesome looking buildings and people want to protect their heritage, but to protect their heritage comes at a cost of maintaining it. And the reality is, unless you're in love with a building, most people aren't going to spend the money required to maintain such a thing. So as well as the Citadel, there's a little section that us locals refer to as the Smoky. It encompasses an old hospital, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, and there's a bit of a spurious access point to get into it, or to get into the dry moats slash revetment area. If you're a bit of an urban explorer, there is access inside the structure itself. Obviously I'm not going to encourage that because that would be naughty, but it is pretty impressive inside. It's a little bit spooky as well. I remember as a kid the story that us children used to spread around was that it used to be a place for Satanists to go and do their Satanist stuff. So we'd always be super scared when we was up there. I was super worried that we was going to get murdered by a Satanist or sacrificed. So that's an old access bridge to the main compound over there, which got burnt down quite a few years ago and now just has the steel frame of the bridge left. Some people do clamber over those steel beams to access it. Just a quick reminder for anyone that's in training and for myself, just had to start walking up the hill because my heart rate has started to increase beyond my zone 2 capacity. Luckily enough, it drops back down fairly quickly, but what I'm trying to say is don't forget to keep your zone 2 or your easy effort runs easy, and if that means you need to have a little walk, take a little walk, especially up those hills. And that, my friends, is a wrap for episode 7 of training for the Dragon's Back Race 2025. Little recap: we done 30 minutes nice and easy effort with 6 times strides at the end, although my pacing estimations for the route meant I only actually done 4 of those strides, but no biggie, we've got out, got the session done. Stats for today are total distance of 3.1 miles, average heart rate of 123 beats per minute. When I'm doing these easy efforts, I'm trying to keep my heart rate below 146. We had 429 foot of ascent. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon.